Johnny.
Yeah.
Okay, now you got to break this down for me because as far as I understand it, Stardew Valley looks like a standard farm simulator. It sounded like a standard farm simulator. You're saying it's not, and you're not the only one.
No, it's so if you've played or if anyone is familiar with um, Harvest Moon series, and then there's this other series that sort of spawned off from that, where it's a little bit more sci-fi. I forgot the name of it, but essentially,
Sci-fi Moon Harvest, Sci-fi Harvest Moon.
It's not too far from that.
Okay.
There's a moon in there, I believe. I think it's like Runic Moon Harvest or Runic Harvest or something like that.
That sounds like a horrible name for a game.
Yeah, it does.
Something weird like that.
All right. Or wait, no, hold on. Maybe I'm off base here now. When it says Runic Moon, there, are you mooning people? Is that what's going on?
It's more farming.
Oh, okay. All right.
More,
my hopes up, Johnny.
There should have been more mooning. It would have been more interesting.
So the Harvest Moon series is all the way back to the Super Nintendo days. It was a farming game on the Super Nintendo, but it's a little bit more than that, where you are not just farming and raising crops and raising animals, and you have a barn and all that stuff, but it's also a dating simulation sort of interwoven in there, and that is Harvest Moon. Stardew Valley is essentially a huge collection of fans who are just like so... They fell in love with Harvest Moon and decided to make their own Harvest Moon game, and that is Stardew Valley, where it is so much like that Super Nintendo Harvest Moon, where it's a 2D isometric view where you're going around, you're planting trees, planting crops, you can build up. So it has crafting elements, a little bit like Minecraft, where you're able to sort of gather resources by chopping down trees, by cutting weeds, and sort of and holding on to that. And
didn't Facebook have like a farming game on it?
Yes,
early
it did.
days too.
Farmville. Yeah,
very
that
big
was
game.
long-standing. They even did a South Park about that.
Right,
Yeah, so
right, and everyone's mom was on it like all day and stuff. You know what I mean? Killing
Dude, I
time.
got so many.
Where's dinner?
Farmville.
I'm cooking.
Okay, then I guess the most important question is: Stardew Valley gonna send me a bunch of obnoxious notifications about like 93 people want me to join their well, I don't know if it's specifically a farm, their Stardew structure.
No, so this is a fully enclosed game where you're not, this isn't like a free-to-play thing where there's these hooks in there to get you to want to play.
Okay.
It's very old school in its way. You pay the one price, which is $15, and you're done. You have the full package here, and there's almost like no end to this game. It's kind of like The Sims. Are you familiar with The Sims?
Oh, come on, man. Yes.
All right. So you're kind of like, you create a character first, and then you're living the life of this character. They live the city life. This is like the very early story it's like the first 5 minutes of the story.
Yeah.
And you're living in a city. You got tired of living in a city, doing the 9 to 5, and your grandfather, whatever, dies and gives you his farm. Yeah.
It's like this is the exact plot for Pootie Tang, isn't it?
No. You know what I'm getting here. Everything literally everything you just described is the plot for the handsome male love interest in every Lifetime almost every other Lifetime and every Hallmark movie, where a woman who works in the city and she's busy. She's just so busy with city life, and she's a busy executive, and she's got to go away to the country to get away.
Even the Ninja Turtles went to the country.
Yeah, nobody there understands her except the one really handsome, really buff guy who left the city to come to the farm and really reconnect with his roots, because his grandfather, his uncle, or someone, someone left them a farm property, so they left their past in the city in this like really upscale urban area with a lot of life to come here and live a simpler existence.
Oh yeah,
that's exactly what you described right
now.
now.
You love this genre too. I can see it in you.
No, I just know tons about it.
Sweet Home Alabama with Reese Witherspoon is yours.
Oh,
right?
stop that!
McDreamy's in that one too?
No. It's all just too ridiculous.
It's exactly that in the setup, and they even
you can play out a Hallmark movie.
They even throw in like a little bit of like contemporary sort of what's the word, allegories for what's going on today in the smaller sort of middle America towns and stuff like that.
Okay, so it's a game with a political agenda.
Just a very slight sort of sprinkling of that.
All right. So why is your evil
like a seasoning? It's like a nice light seasoning.
The evil tax assessor who's coming to take your farm. He's bright orange.
No,
with
it's actually
with like a broom head for hair.
It's actually your farm is in this town, and in the town there's this this small like mom and pop general store shop, and there's other places, and then to the other side of the town is like this big corporate supermarket that's there and is trying to sort of outbid, and they're lowering their prices and offering you and the customers the better deal. Come here, we have half off day or whatever. And it's not in your face. It's a little bit there. It's not part of the main story, or at least not as far as I've played into it. But it is there, and there's other elements there where
Man, you walk into the general store. Hey, I'd like to buy some carrots. Corporations are evil. Buy beets.
The beet is the most passionate of vegetables. What?
And then the town itself is a little bit run down, and sort of you have a collection of different tasks to do. So there's no real direction. You get like these little quests of the mayor of the town tells you, oh, just go talk to all the townspeople.
There's a mayor of this town like that?
What's that?
There better be a mayor.
Yeah, there's
mayors of these mountains.
Yeah.
Okay.
The town is run by the evil businessmen from this corporate factory. That's why.
Yeah, they have their own little market over there, and every now and then the owner of that market will like poke their head and say some
something racist,
some stuff.
All right, so what I'm getting right now, it sounds like a very amusing game, a very quirky game. Probably the art sounds really fun. It sounds like an amusing time waster, but I'm not getting like why you're so jazzed about this.
It's it's hard to describe. It's kind of like describing why The Sims is really fun and really addictive.
Well, I know why The Sims is really fun and really addictive, because I can manipulate fake people to make them sleep with each other and then kill.
Well, you can kind of do some things like that. So it's more than just a farming game. You're also, so it has that whole crafting element, it has the whole farming element, but then there's this whole dating simulation part to the game where you can pretty much pick and choose who you want to marry and have kids with.
Yeah, you mentioned
that
earlier.
And it could be anyone.
The drive, do you think, for this game? Is the
That's
dating
one of
part,
them.
not the...
It's very open-ended as to how you want to play it. So if
wait, you're saying it's Stardew Valley, brought to you by FarmersOnly.com.
Yes.
Yeah.
That sounds exactly.
And you can mine as well. So mining is another major aspect.
This is Trump's America, actually. I think. What about the miners? What about the miners?
You can go into the mine.
Brought to you by the RNC.
And the mines are infested with monsters, so that drives the combat element of this game. So it's really like if you want to focus on farming and do nothing but farming and building up your farm and building new farm buildings, like building the mill and building the a tool shed and stuff like that, you can do that. If you want to focus on finding the perfect husband or wife, you can do that. If you want to focus entirely on combat and going deeper and deeper into this mine and seeing how deep this mine goes and coming across these tougher and tougher enemies, you can do that as well. And while you're going down, if you bring a pickaxe, you can mine the resources and get the gems in there.
What? Oh, that's not what that's not what you implying. Never mind.
No,
Sorry.
You can't
Sorry.
kill the townspeople as much as you'd like. But what you can do...
You promised me pickaxe murder. How dare you, John?
But what you can do is you can actually gift the townspeople items, and you have to sort of figure out what items they actually appreciate and which items that they like in order to further boost your relationship with them.
And
as you level up,
it's not just a dating sim. I'm romancing the whole town.
You can romance the whole town.
Universal gigolo.
Yeah.
Like, what you got there, lady? Looking mighty fine in that sundress. What you got there, fella? Looking mighty smooth in them overalls.
Oh, they have some weird requests.
I look at that curly tail. Oink, oink. Yeah.
They'll ask for, like, fish and whatnot, so you have to go and fish and get, like...
Look mighty scaly in that fish.
Yeah. And there's different fish, too, right? There's freshwater and there's saltwater fish. And
I feel like I could do very bad things in this game.
Yeah.
And
sounds like your wheels are turning.
And then there's this seasons element to it, so you're farming in the spring, the summer, and the fall, and then in the winter it's a very different type of game because you can't farm anymore in the winter, but you still need to generate money in some way to keep yourself afloat. And there's this finance system to it too. So everything you're farming, you're then selling in order to raise capital to either further expand your farm or further expand your house. You can improve your house. There's a cooking element to this game where you can make many different recipes.
Okay,
See, this sounds way too
game.
realistic for me to actually enjoy. Like, it seems too like based in reality of like, well, if the crops don't come in, you're not going to have any money.
Well,
you know what I mean? You're going to have to pick this partner who's going to be the right person. So, I usually play games or do any sort of entertainment kind of escapism.
Mm-hmm.
Do you play this? And did you sit down and enjoy it? Is this something
it's very enjoyable. I've played a decent amount. My girlfriend has played quite a bit more than me.
How much? Yeah, how much time? It sounds
it.
like something that if you're into it, you're putting in not just like a few hours, but like a lot of hours.
I feel like
it's immediate. It is immediate.
Johnny opens up his save game,
like,
and Johnny has created one farm. He opens up his girlfriend's. She has created Kellogg's, the industry.
Yeah, it's like you play it the amount of time it actually takes crops to grow.
Oh, it's quick. It's very quick to get returns, right? It takes so you're playing. You have a certain limited number of actions that you can do. It's based on your energy, so you have a certain amount of energy that you can expend each day, and then you have to go to sleep and then the next day you'll get your energy back, and then you have to sort of also do time management, right? Mm-hmm. So as you're playing each day, you can't pause the time and sort of or just stop and just watch things go by. The time will pass and it'll go into night, and then you have to go to sleep, otherwise bad stuff will happen, or creatures will come out and they'll attack you and stuff like that. So it's also a time management game as well as all of those other things. So you have to sort of pick and choose what you're going to do each day.
Okay, so now you've sold me. A lot of this sounds more appealing than the initial description.
Yep.
And simple farm simulator sounds banal. Simple dating sim sounds banal. A little more of the exploration aspect that you emphasized really started a job with me. But now the fact that all that is optional for the user, that's what I'm hearing. That you may have sold me on this.
Yeah, so it's very optional. You play as however you want to play is how the game will allow you to play. You can do a lot of different things. If you want to go farm heavy, you can go farm heavy. If you want to be more sociable, you can do that. There's a bar. You can go there. You can drink.
Can I fight?
Maybe.
Oh, you're playing the game wrong, Johnny.
I don't know, but what you can do is...
You gotta go to bars, you find the biggest, toughest looking guy, you punch him in the face.
This is Roadhouse, like Patrick Swayze.
Exactly.
I will say
you find the double deuce. If it doesn't exist, you can make the double deuce.
I will say,
is this in Jasper, Wyoming?
You can stalk other people too. So each of the...
back to the dating sim.
Yeah. Each of the individual townspeople have their own routines that they do on a day-to-day basis, and you can sort of follow them through. There's this one guy that works at the supermarket, and at the end of every day of the supermarket, he goes and gets himself wasted by himself at the tavern. He's like a very miserable kind of guy, and there's something up with him. I haven't talked to him any further because he has a lot of negative energy.
Weird Joe?
Okay. All right.
He's weirded out by the game? I haven't talked to him anymore.
No, Adam, dig this. I figured out Johnny's gameplay method now. The game offers you all the opportunity to actually do this, but instead of advancing his farm, he's playing Guardian Angel.
Right. This is touched by an angel. He's walking around like, you really shouldn't drink as much. You drink way too much.
Come on, man. It's gonna get better. You gotta keep your head up.
Sounds like the Midwest.
There's a light at the end of the tunnel.
Okay, so we're obviously having a
church
good time
down there.
with
Go
this.
to that instead.
Okay, so we're enjoying this actual breakdown, but the gameplay itself, what's your opinion? Like the technical specs here.
It's very responsive. You swing your shovel or swing your axe. You're going to strike something. You can turn on various
literally swing
elements.
like this is for a Switch.
Yeah, you hit a button. No, you don't have to physically. It is all button-based things. I don't even know if there's any motion controls. I didn't use any motion controls on this. I don't even know if it's there. But you can sort of have the UI sort of highlight where you're going to swing in order for the precision element. Because when you are building out your farm and sort of laying out your crops and plowing the soil and all that, you want to make sure that everything lines up nice and be as efficient as possible. It's sort of like a natural thing that happens because because there's this time management element to it. You want to be very effective, very efficient at what you do and how you sort of line up your crops, how you take care of your animals, where they're positioned, fencing off certain areas, making sure that weeds don't get into your garden, all sorts of different things. And it builds up very nicely because you start off with nothing on your farm, and then by
Just
the
a
end
plot
of
of desert land.
by the end
It's
of
been salted by the neighboring farm.
it's not salted. It's
Oh.
very fertile.
Okay.
Very fertile.
Don't pick on his farms.
but by the end of
Who does he
10,
think he
20
is?
hours, at the end of 10, 20 hours, you look back at your farm and you're like, wow, I made and built all of this stuff. It took a bunch of in-game days, but you sort of see the effort, the fruits of your effort right then and there, like as you're going through it. It takes a little bit of time. Some foods that you can sort of plant and wait for the harvest are very quick. Some of them grow very quickly. Some of them, if you're willing to take the time to let them grow, they will have more return on investment, but yet it takes a bit longer. So there's always pros and cons to everything that you do in here, especially talking with the townspeople. It becomes, should I talk to them or should I go down to the mine? And then there's all of this is sort of fully encased within RPG mechanics of leveling up your skills. So being a better axe swinger, etc., combat, whatever. Overall, I mean, this game is a definite thumbs up. It's a very, very fun game. There's a lot of stuff there for $15.
Not for Adam, I think, but
I just don't think I could do the farming thing in real life or simulated life.
All right, well, it sounds like something I would want to check out, actually, because you can go beyond just farming. I do get what you're saying, the sense of accomplishment in the sense that I actually did something and made something. I created something in this world, but for me, it'd go beyond that. Maybe I'm selling my crops. Maybe I'm interacting with town people. I want to
You'd spend more time in the bar like I would.
He says with a beer on the All right, so what's it available for?
It's available pretty much on everything. It's available on the Xbox One, the PS4, on Steam, and it's available on Switch, which is where I played it. And it's fantastic on all of them. I will say that my girlfriend did have her save file get corrupted. I don't know if it got corrupted.
Yeah, right.
But she got to a hard point where she can no longer progress because the game crashes. So there's going to be a patch coming out sometime this week, which hopefully addresses that issue. So just be wary of that on the Switch.
Okay, I thought you were going to say she got to a certain point where it wouldn't let her progress past creating General Mills and going for world domination. So I don't know what's going on.
She put 3 years into it. What do you want to give her?
All right, so the game is Stardew Valley, available for, you said Switch, Xbox One, PlayStation, all over the place.
All over the place, $15. If you pay any more than $15, it's still worth it, but I know it's $15 on Switch and Steam. It might be a little bit more on PS4 and Xbox One.
All right, Johnny recommends it. Okay, now we're going to steer away from Johnny to Johnny.
Yep.
Because, dude, you also got to play this game, Hob, by Runic Studios.